welcome to Simulacra Studios presents Trinity Continuum Aeon ASIYAH. I am your humble story guide, Scott. These are my awesome players. Our information is on the screen. When last we left our freelance Psi users, they continued to get to know their new friends. They had a bit of an update with their friend Akiva, their handy ship AI, and an extended conversation with Jacob and Annabelle of the Aeon Covenant. History and philosophy and new information was kind of shared.
Big lore episode.
Big lore episode.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
a lot of talking.
Lore dump.
A lot of talking. And you know what? There might be some more of that. Because,
Just a wee bit.
Because they
We're
are
doing more of a Star Trek thing right
Yeah,
now.
you're doing more of a Star Trek thing because they are on a 12-day journey to the core of the Harvester Cube where a sun dun got exploded.
And I have to know fucking how.
Yes, we're gonna aim a Clairsentient bomb at it and see what we can see.
We just throw.
Just throw me in a little pod.
Asher into the sun.
So yeah, we are in transit. You guys are making your way. It's very strange. You know, it's not the Star Trek thing where you're seeing stars go by.
I wanted to ask you what it looked like.
Just because it's not that dense of a star field, because the outside is being occluded from you, and there's only so many stars within this.
Actually, you're right.
40
So it's
light year.
kind of just blackness.
It's kind of blackness, and you can see ever increasing points of light
Just
coming
the
towards
slightly
you.
you can't see it get bigger, but every time you look at it, it's a little bit
yeah, it's
bigger.
a
I wouldn't look at it for too long. You might go crazy.
Well, actually, you're heading towards the center where there's not.
Yeah.
You're not specifically going towards one. Yeah. So that it's probably not a good idea to look outside while you're doing this because it's actually really weird. It'll look a lot cooler when you're outside of this cube.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you guys are heading on your way. Like I said, this is pretty downtimey. So I'm just going to kind of go around the table and ask what people want to be focusing their time on. We'll start with Nate.
Ooh, okay, realize I was on the spot. He eventually wants to talk to Rick Rock with Asher and have a conversation with him, but I think that's something we both want to do. I do want to talk to Akiva, probably sometime when on our mini day trip of I'll be on the bridge and sure. So Akiva, and I'm assuming, are they in body or are they in hologram?
It depends. When you ask the conversation, we're how do you want to do this?
Whatever you want to.
They'll be in hologram form.
Okay. I had a thought. You said the previous captain, because they were a Nova, they had a more intimate connection to the ship.
Yes.
It's something I would like to attempt, if you're willing and we have time. I'd like to kind of see if I can use my quantikinesis to sort of harmonize with the ship. Because I would like, it's good practice for me, but it's also could bring out the best of your capabilities.
Sure, we can give that a try. A lot of the big stuff, a lot of the power is limited right now because of the disconnected nature of the ASIYAH. When he made that connection, the ship was whole, and there was a lot. I don't know what he could have done when the ship was in this state to really enhance things. Okay. He could do a lot more when the core was integrated into the ship. But we can. It might not do much, but we can certainly start feeling it out and seeing what might be done.
This actually leads to another question. Do you want to get the other part of the ship back together?
Eventually.
Okay.
We separated it because it's a very weird looking ship, and he pops up the hologram.
Yeah, I remember.
And
it's
very
it's hard
obviously
to look at.
not Soul standard ship design. And it would probably cause a lot of problems.
Are all the ships look that strange in the Novarchy? Or the I'm sorry, not our Novarchy, the Confederation?
It depends. If it's a ship, captained by a Nova.
They tend to be ostentatious.
That has That's one way to put it. But when there is a Nova at the helm who can, as you say, attune and do and join its power together, then yeah, those can get real wacky. There are plenty of, I guess, different design, but it wouldn't raise that much of an eyebrow. Many of the humans have ships that might look a little different, but it would be like, I guess I would imagine someone from Seoul seeing a normal Confederacy ship would just say like, oh, that's just a new design that I haven't seen yet,
right? Or
maybe there's a new company.
It would look like a custom job, not something that it looks quote unquote alien.
Yes, no,
for lack of a better term.
Ships of the scale of the ASIYAH tend to be a little out there.
Yeah. That's maybe a question I should ask Jacob, but I'm assuming the Confederacy doesn't have Federation. Apologize, doesn't have biotech, or at least not biotech that we have.
No, not the. I mean, he can confirm that, but I don't think they do. I've been keeping up to date on things. Do you think they are responsible for the biotech that we have?
I don't have a lot of evidence to indicate that, but I don't put it. It's in the filing cabinet.
They brought the tanks, right?
Yep. Yeah, I know. Which means bigger implications for the Chen.
Yeah.
Supposedly they are. Here's my biggest evidence. The Chen are literally, as far as the records are, like a 1,000,000-year-old race, and they still don't have FTL. Like, their technology plateaued, and they seem just as ingenious as a human being when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I know that we had some trouble with them. They tried to blow us up, and one of your friends was there too. But anyway, yeah.
What are we talking about? Now I'm very confused. About meeting them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I don't like them. I'm not saying I like them. I'm just saying, like that's worth looking into. Yes,
is what I'm saying.
I kind of wish I had the ability to be in multiple places at the same time, so I could get all of this stuff done. There's so many questions I have.
Well, I mean, you're part of a order, right?
It's complicated. But
anyway, I'll start working on some models, and we'll get back to me on that,
sure,
and we'll try it out.
Yep.
Anything else I can help you with, man?
Nope. Oh,
cool.
Go ahead.
All right. What about Vega? What's Vega spending your time with?
That's not a thing.
I'm just now seeing Vega kind of lounging around on the couch, eating chips, and be like, nah.
There's going to be a lot of that.
Finished Battlestar. No. There's no ship project to work on. Kind of at a standstill with weird biotech. With the maker thing, right?
You could. You've got plenty of time to work on it. You can, if you want to try and make a role for what specifically are you wanting to do with it?
I don't know. I'm just trying to see push what I can do out of it. Like, just see what are the limits of it, and what I can make. I don't know. The only other thing I can think of is start thinking of an exit survey after this is done. Like, what would you feel is reasonable compensation if you were to accept a position on this ship?
You're working on packages.
Yeah, I don't that's literally the only other thing I can think of is how to get staffing done.
We're basically pirates. You just have to offer them some of the booty.
I know, but I don't quite get this is the part I hate.
No, I'm more of a corporate pirate. That's
Those do exist.
I know. But
Well, if you want to, I mean, so the thing with the Maker is that it, it has like standard stuff that it makes. Like it's very much
Right.
like a normal Maker, or a human Maker, a hard tech Maker. It just goes about it for a different route.
Right. We've gone through the files that we have, and I don't really have a way to make new files.
Not really. That's kind of a bridge. Like
I don't have the CAD equivalent.
Yes.
For it.
So, I mean, you can start doing. You can do some more research on it. We'll set up a. We will set up an investigation regarding that. I will say this will be a 3-lead mystery you're trying to uncover.
All right.
So you'll need to get 3 leads to kind of crack the basics of how to program make a new program. You're going to need to understand this from a science perspective, a technology perspective, and a medicine perspective, because you're trying to meld all those things basically together. So you will need to. What tactic would you like to push it first?
Let's start with medicine.
Medicine. All right. Well, go ahead and make me an intellect medicine roll.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, if anything, some sort of rapid healing device or something that could help us stitch up quicker without you having to dump psi into us would be great.
Yep.
Are you trying to? Is that something you're trying to like? You want to? Because that's the thing. Like, you have to have an idea of what you want to make, really.
I mean, that's a good idea. I can
Just
start
kind of
with
like
that.
a quick pack.
Quick hack.
Like a trauma pack. Basically,
Cut to, we're sitting there watching Battlestar, and I have some jerky in my mouth. Like, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. So
Alex does
yeah.
offer to help you, by the way, with the other stuff, not medicine.
Okay.
and if you want help, I was going to ask if you want help from us. Well, I'm happy to help you.
Right. Yeah. So
That
let's go
is-
medicine roll. And I'll say this
Dice
is.
pool. You said so that's 5. Let me see if I got this right.
Yeah.
I think I did it right. So that's no successes.
Yeah, you are. This is a little rough. So yeah.
I only use my brain to heal. I don't use my brain to heal.
Yep.
You could spend momentum to make this a
Please,
basic success.
feel free.
Go for it.
Do it.
Sure.
Yeah, we gotta spend
let's
it.
do that. We've got
Spend
plenty.
it up. Spend it up.
Okay. All right, you spend some momentum to kind of get the basic like medical design of it. Like, you're gonna have you're probably gonna have to. The idea that you come upon is like, okay, I'm trying to make a healing item, and the conclusion that you come to, the lead that you break is you're going to probably need to feed it a lot of some of your DNA.
Okay.
Given that
I thought
your
I've done
DNA,
that before.
yeah, you've tried, but
Okay.
like you're figuring out how to interface with it. It's like, okay, my DNA has been modified to boost Vitakinetic kinesis power.
Okay.
So you kind of like go through the medical knowledge, go through your Vitakinesis training. It's like, okay, these are the sequences that I need to feed it in order to give it to make this kin thing create a Vitakinetic effect.
Okay.
So you've got that. You did not get any any extra hits, so you don't have any evidence, which would be enhancement on future rolls, and So you just basically break that lead, and that takes a couple of days of you like seriously hunkering down with it. What is Alex getting up to?
There's a few things I wanted to get up to. First off, I start just learning about the hardware of what these replicants are. Starting with the mock-up system. Though I do look, if with his permission, look at a Kilo system as well, so I can understand where there's differences. So basically, I'm trying to learn just generally about these systems so I can interface with them from a not personal level, but more like a surgical level,
Sure.
but in the electrical sense.
All right, well, let's go ahead and make a technology roll
Yes. Yes.
as you're sort of comparing and contrasting
Does
it.
reverse engineering apply?
Yes, I will say it will.
Okay, so that is 8 with enhancement of 2. I got. Is that 6 hits? Sorry, I'm looking to where it shows it. There we go. Yep, 6 hits.
6 hits, fantastic. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, you are examining this matrix. It looks like it is kind of crystal based. Is like the core. The core of it is like a encoded, like laser encoded crystal core of it. Akiva does kind of like lead you to where his core is hooked up, and as you're sort of examining it, they're the same fundamental technology, but like one was built by HP, another was built by IBM.
Right.
Like it's a different form factor, but the technology is the same. The difference is that the one that you were given to play on is running a much less complicated program on it. It's a very like stock standard, like personal computer SI, as opposed to like the multiphasic complex program that is the replicant base.
Which leads to the next thing, and this is something that Akiva and I had talked about before, as far as me being able to identify if there's been outside influences on him. And the first thing I want to do with his permission is basically try to use TAP to establish the analog to telepathy with him.
Sure.
So I do, ask him if he's all right with me trying that, and with the usual promises like, I'm not going to look at anything you don't want me to. This is going to be surface level. I just want to see if we can communicate this way.
Certainly. Let's give it a try.
All right. Use dashboard. Is and I'm only using tap, so give me enhancement for pushing or for not pushing. So that is woo. This is being very kind to me today.
Oh boy.
9 hits.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Dang.
I'm going to make this very simple. You, working with Akiva and this like flash of brilliance, you can use TAP to, you basically, you kind of develop a EK equivalent of the Mindshare basic technique and an EK basic Krillian Eye.
Nice. I will write that down.
Neat.
You can now for
You started writing the APIs.
yes, you started writing. You basically like knowing what she can do. So yeah, you can communicate via TAP with artificial intelligences, as well as diagnose them using your electrokinesis. Essentially, you can basically use those two mechanics, the telepathy basic ability as well as the Krillian Eye basic ability, with your electrokinesis.
So I want to run one more experiment with this before I go do the other thing I wanted to do, if there's time. Basically, I established TAP with the SI. I'll use Access so I can make an outside change to it, and then I want to look at it with the Krillian Eye to see if I can tell that something outside changed it without his permission. So
yeah, like you spent this is pretty intensive. Like this is a couple of days of intensive work. Like you have to rest because you're really pushing your psi abilities. But yeah, you run that experiment, and you are essentially able to see a condition on the program that you can diagnose via this new technique that you've developed.
I'm actually pretty exultant about being able knowing that I can tell if there's something wrong. And then I like put my hand up for Akiva to give me a high five and wait till he comes in,
He's like, oh,
in body form.
sorry, I was playing with cats. Comes in, high fives.
High five, walks out, goes back to playing.
And the other thing I wanted to do is when I get a chance, I know I've done HR meetings with everybody else. Have I checked in with Asher?
Nope.
Yeah, I was going to go check in, like try to get a time
Oh, man.
when Asher's by himself.
I mean,
And just kind of like, hey, you got a sec?
You might notice that he's actually been in the common area eating garbage and watching TV a lot. Probably in that same white t-shirt and shorts that you saw him in at breakfast.
Oh, you have decimated
I pull over some more garbage while they're out of the room, plop down next to him. Hi.
How's it going?
Really good, actually. How about you? I kind of look up and down at your Cheeto stained shirt.
I think I've been better.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I guess so.
See this impossibly handsome
Hey, can
guy
we-
with the Cheetos.
Why don't we go to my room? There's more privacy.
Okay.
Yeah, Kiva, if you don't mind giving us a little privacy.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thanks.
Like, even the cats have, like, done the most grooming they can. They've got little cheese bits on their
Yeah,
muzzles.
yep.
Yeah, so what's up? What's going on?
Oh. Well, that's kind of a broad question. Why don't you ask the one you want to ask?
What's eating at you?
Oh, I'm a murderer. Like, I'm
Guys.
Yeah, I'm a murderer now. I've
Yeah.
killed people before, but it's never been that personal. So now I'm a murderer.
That's a tough one.
Yeah,
I try
still,
not to think about it, but,
I'm not churchy or anything, but I'm pretty sure that's not great. I didn't join for this shit. I didn't join to kill people. I joined the one specifically not for killing people. Isra isn't the one that's supposed to kill people. We're supposed to tell people where to kill people.
And we're not supposed to kill people. Outside of that.
And I don't know, just that guy warping reality to kill his friends over and over again sat with me in a really weird way. I don't know. That was a deeply disturbing experience that I never, ever, ever want to experience again.
He didn't even admit that he was doing it. It was so strange to me.
Maybe in his mind, his broken ass mind, he didn't. But mostly that. Just this is all kind of crazy, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's all kind of crazy. Been kind of homesick.
Yeah.
It's a lot simpler there, as much as I hate the FSA.
At least I could just be like a college dropout there.
Yeah.
Be disappointing my family in a completely different way.
I wonder what would have happened, and I'm not asking you to look into it because that'd be bad for all of us, but we didn't have to do that stuff.
Yeah, that was a complete kind of a side thing. I'm almost at this point. It may have been better had we not, which kind of worries me.
Maybe not.
That's one of the things that kind of bothers me is that it's something we kind of went looking for trouble and we found it.
We did. And maybe somebody else would have found that trouble if we hadn't, but...
I don't know, maybe it would have gone down different.
Yeah.
I feel like this is just... We gotta be more careful.
Yeah, I think next time we want to go off and look into something like that we find out about, maybe I hate to lean on your abilities, but...
No, it's fine. It only tires me out. I mean, it tires me out as much as it tires anyone else. It's just stressful.
It does seem like it's been harder and harder for you.
The more, well, I think I've...
You've been talking about being in more than one place at once. You mentioned it more than once.
Well, that's being a clairsentient. I'm always, like, experiencing, like, 4 different things at the same time, which is weird because I'm also the teleportation and the telepathy and all that stuff. It's kind of hard to filter it all at some points. It's you guys just seem so lazy, so like woo about the whole thing when you just blast your powers out.
Well, when I blast my powers out, it's something very direct and specific, and I have a specific goal. It's a little different for you when you're seeing a bunch of different realities possibilities converging having to. Sorry.
Seeing everything at the same time is hard.
When I have to do really complicated things where all of my short-term memory is filled with different threads, that can be overwhelming, but it stops when I stop doing it.
Also, being a router for everyone else's psychic powers isn't like it's not a normal feeling, I would imagine. I wouldn't know how to explain it any other way. That it's weird to feel everyone's juice flowing through you.
Oh, when you're
when we're in the link. Anyway, that's more part. Like that's just getting more powerful and learning how to deal with it. I mean, that was I just didn't expect to. I saw more progress in the last few months than I've seen in years. So it's just a big expansion too quick.
What would you say to getting cleaned up? Maybe watching, having a nicer dinner than usual, and then watching some of the Alien media.
Oh, I bet that's gonna be weird.
It might be weird, but it might be kind of a nice little reprieve from, well, all the other things that have been on our minds.
Yeah, maybe I'll forget. I don't know. I can't forget anything. It's also I can't forget anything because I have the polyp.
Right.
So I might stop that because I might want to be able to forget things.
Maybe for a while at least. Can you not? If you remove it, can't you put it back if you decide you need it?
Yeah, I can just take it off.
We've got some time on our hands. Take the night off. Take that thing off.
That's probably for the best. So I'm going to detach the kin polyp that was giving me perfect memory and put it aside. Keep the lightning calculator one. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh.
All right. Well, we can't undo what we've done, but we can do better in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, we can try.
All right. Meet you in the common room in 30?
Yeah.
I'm going to go ask the new fellas to bring in, pop in some media for us.
I'll hose myself off.
That's Ozzy?
I'm gonna...
Kiva, the host.
Just the usual lead against the wall.
I do actually give Asher a hug before I leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you guys have a bit of a media night. You guys can, you can, share, a stripped down bang experience.
Oh, yeah.
With something kind of chill. Annabelle brings out, from her, personal store, she brings out what was... She explained... She kind of, she starts talking more than, you've ever heard her when she starts explaining it.
Nerd time.
She's like, so back in the Nova Age, do you guys still have, pro wrestling?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So in the Nova Age, it was super awesome because there was a whole league of Novas that did it. And in the Confederation, we still have it like that. And
super good.
So this is a compilation of the best matches of the past 5 years of eruption. Of eruption night.
Do we still have insane storylines?
Oh yeah, they're fucking crazy.
Yes.
They're, I've kind of curated the best matches and there's some promos too.
Is there something I could offer you in exchange for a copy of that?
Oh yeah, sure. No, we can copy it just fine. Yes. You guys can have all copies of this, but these are my favorite fucking matches. Before I joined the Covenant, I did some of the lower league of it. And I had a couple of matches with Novas every now and then.
Got any recordings of that? Maybe after we know each other better.
Maybe after we know each other. Some of those are a little embarrassing. But yeah, so she pops it on and it gets on your holographic projector, and you guys watch Nova wrestling for a bit.
Oh my God, they're fighting over that guy. That guy.
I bring you fruit when I see you reach for the Cheetos.
Dave is watching, but he's not watching the wrestling. He's watching their reaction because he's never seen you just light up. And that's something oh, okay.
And then you realize that the FSA kids are super duper into wrestling.
Right. I'm
all of us are just
and if you haven't picked up on it, Alex is also super into Nova media.
That's the kicker. That's the kicker
so
right there.
So this is two things I'm super into. That's not being a nerd.
Yeah, and if you're a little detached from what's happening, and you can see there's actually a significant amount of technology like there's like a shield tech around the ring,
Right.
that
I was wondering
allows
what
them
kind
to
of
just
safety.
like throw shit around. And,
Yeah, so that they can actually use their powers.
and it's like splashes against it.
Do the
Is it
wrestlers? Obviously, they're wearing costumes because
Yeah.
that's what you have with wrestling. But do they look human?
There's a range. No one looks there is no one who you would point at and say that's an aberrant.
Right.
But there's weird skin color, and like sometimes there's like hair that's made of light. Some like one guy's like 9 foot tall. Some of them look pretty human. There's a range.
He's
There's
the
a-
biggest show.
He's the biggest show, yeah. And like there's obviously there's like a shit from one event to another, and you guys like watch an aerial battle,
Oh,
like Genovas who can
At some point
fly.
during the break, that's awesome.
Goals.
At some point during the break, I do dial up like a shitty beer.
I actually looked at Annabelle
Bring
after
that
like
for
we
us.
have like a little bit of a lull, like she's going through and figuring out what they're. I'll have to show you some of the Legionnaire stuff that we do. You'd probably appreciate that a lot. We don't have any wrestling because typically most of us that have these kind of powers.
But you scrap, right?
What?
You scrap, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, you'll see them. They fight. They fight each. There's always practices as well as encounters with actual what you would call waywards.
Yeah. Oh,
The reason I never joined the Legion, one of the reasons. I found out early on that scrapping was not my thing.
It's not for everyone.
yeah.
It's hard to picture.
No.
Yeah, the Psiads, we tend to not. They didn't. It's discouraged for them to really like endanger themselves much.
You guys probably have a bigger concentration of them, but they're still fairly rare on.
They're incredibly rare. Like they're very rare. And I mean, we're trying. Like this is more Jacob's thing, but yeah, like we are trying to help more.
He told me that there's planets being set aside that
Yeah.
that are being asked, hey, because I told you guys the two spices don't mix well together.
Yeah.
But none of them do this shit.
No.
Yeah, there's.
But so I would love to actually see some like throwdown.
Oh yeah, I got
man.
stuff for you.
It's like. Wait, we were on the ASIYAH. I actually go to the time where we actually had the that proxy tier psychokinetic hurl an asteroid into a ship.
Oh,
And it's like, whoop.
When did that happen?
nice.
Oh, that was when we were on Absolute Zero, and there was an attack, and one of the a very potent psychokinetic. I forget what her name was. She's actually famous. You would probably know exactly who she was.
It's not the proxy, is it?
No, it's not the problem.
No.
Okay, it was someone
No, one of
knew
the-
them.
Yeah.
But someone I think she was in a good dress that evening too. It was just she happened to be in a nice dress throwing an asteroid,
As you do.
as you do. Which it's like,
That's
yeah.
how you know the date's
So-
going well?
And yeah, so for the rest of my downtime, when I'm not working with Akiva, I am kind of keeping an eye on Asher,
Sure,
trying to make sure he's trying to encourage him to do Asher things,
Be present.
be present, feel a little better.
I think
some of
I think that would be the biggest thing you would notice is he's having a very hard time remaining in the present. He keeps kind of drifting.
Yeah, and I don't try to be rude about it but I do try to like bring your attention to something cool that you like in the present.
Jingle the keys at me. It's good. He needs it.
Oh yeah, get the cats to come attack you, or show you another piece of media.
Jacob does have some media, but it's nowhere near as entertaining as Annabelle's stuff.
He's got the equivalent of 60 minutes.
Yeah, more like TED Talks.
Oh, that's gonna be great. In talks.
Yeah, in talks.
I definitely like the wrestling. Let's try some of that next time in the gym.
Okay.
She's like, all right, I can.
All right, I'll take
We'll
a
throw
break.
down.
I want some of those
I'll
moves.
take a break to watch that. Come on.
So yeah, it's interesting stuff, but it's not like get together and watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're Annabelle's very into Bang. Like she likes what she sees, and like you should take me to a show when we get there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I need to.
That'll be fun.
I've actually never been either.
Oh, I need to get out my. I pull out the bang board from under the couch.
Yeah.
It's like,
I have the triangle.
I need to remember.
Yeah, that has faded.
I know, and
Like
he looks so sad.
Oh.
Although, interestingly enough, I could use
Like you can still like do it, but that like kind of like rush of familiarity that you were able to gather, like when you were working with them.
only in psychometry will I remember remember how well this rocked.
Yeah.
If only I can make those synapses snap a little fast.
When I get back, I mean, playing music was nice. It was nice to learn.
Hey, you should start. We have plenty of time. You should start practicing again.
The rooms are soundproofed.
Yeah, you're right.
Please remember the rooms are soundproof.
That's true.
Also, maybe I can get. I don't think I'll ever be able to pull there's a special kind, by the way, that only Clairsentients can do.
Oh, neat. Interesting.
Yeah, we kind of project you kind of get a dose of us in the music.
What if I could do that?
I mean, if you can learn Clairsentience as easy as anyone else, so yes, probably.
Or
Cool.
you mean interfacing with Bang, with the music.
With the band.
Yeah, I probably could.
Can you bust a move, Nate? Can you?
I'm passable. That's about as best I can do.
I just put the bang board away and shake my head.
Aw.
No.
Yeah, but I'll look at it and be like, yeah, bang is actually a really new thing. That's not something most people don't know about it. I only learned it more. I heard it before, but you guys started introducing me.
We did some work for a bang group that was
Phenomenal.
Yeah. When Nate says that like most people don't know about it, he's talking about people over the age of 25.
Yes.
Right, which he is.
Which all of us are, so we're old who know about it. So we're talking about, we're just talking about Kendrick at this point.
It probably got invented, maybe 10 years ago or something like that?
Yes and no.
Yeah. It's an old thing that's new again.
Bang started as crasher music,
Okay.
which is like people who came up during the crash. Then the anima generation kind of took it and did something new with it.
New with it.
So all of you would know like old Bang,
Yeah, okay.
like this like very like world beat kind of.
I actually would know Crasher music. That would actually fit perfectly into mine. Yep.
No, I understand the techno that you kids like.
And Crasher is definitely what is currently like Boomer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He totally, yeah.
It makes me think of like what I think of as emo and what the kids today call emo
Exactly,
and how they're
yes.
unrecognizable
Very
from
much
one
so.
another.
But eventually Jacob lets you know that Rick Rock is willing to talk, but only to two of you. At this moment, he only would like to talk to two of you.
Alex,
at the most.
Alex and Nate, rock, paper, scissors, both of you said you want to, and I'm definitely going.
Nate, you should go for it. I've actually been really busy. And
Okay, sure. Thank you very much.
I have to say, I really admire how you've been dealing with all this. I didn't know you had the diplomacy skills.
Trying so hard.
You're doing great, man.
I apologize for underestimating your diplomacy.
So yeah, you guys make your way
Good job.
over to the quarters that Rick Rock has appropriated for himself, and it's a little shocking when you come in because there's just like rocks and dirt and like water, like there's like a big bowl of water around.
We just walked into a terrarium.
Yeah, basically a terrarium. Like there's a layer of like soil. Like he's apparently been working with the maker to make like dirt and rocks.
Okay,
and
it's like
Yeah.
so he's been making himself a nice, more
Comfort.
naturalistic environment.
Yeah,
I get that.
He's
Some
a
people-
lizard person. So.
Some people put up posters.
Yeah,
some
and,
people sun themselves. I don't know.
and the light has been modified
So
to
that-
just, it's very warm, very intense light.
You know
Sorry, I was imagining this bed's just a warm, flat rock.
It's a little fancier than that, but it is.
getting on.
It's not a mattress. I will say
yeah,
that.
actually, I'm seeing something like something very stiff, similar to like how you would like I think sleep in Japan, like something like something you roll out,
Yeah.
and you just lay on that, but it absorbs the heat real well.
And as I've described Rick Rock before, very much a lizard man, like kind of a little bit of lizard, a little bit of humanoid features. scales and some like colorful feathers, like kind of analogous to hair feathers. And he's dressed in like bolts of cloth that have been wrapped around him, like very like looks like very like natural dyes.
Right.
Have been made, like very unlike what anyone else has been wearing.
The moment we walk in and you feel sort of the heat of the heat lamp and it just probably the elevated temperature of the room, you suddenly feel very cool. As I'm going to activate my pyrokinesis energy shield, which sort of dampens down environmental heat and that kind of energy. So you feel like you're just in a nice warm room rather than being hot.
I was going to soak through this shirt in like 2 seconds if you hadn't done that. So
Yep. No, you just feel
It's really good to meet you.
As long as you stay close to me, you just feel comfortable around.
So you're keeping that around yourself?
Yes, I'm keeping that around me and him.
otherwise I'd be sloppy.
That way we don't interfere. We don't ask him to accommodate us.
All right. Yeah. So he does not have anything that can make noise, like mouth sounds.
He has a mouth.
He has a mouth, but it makes lizardy sounds.
I do. I make a motion to tap my temple, and I motion to him.
He sort of sits and nods.
Okay.
You're gonna have to make a roll to establish contact.
Yeah,
with him.
I figured
There's
as
a level
much.
2 complication on it.
Alien brain. Hey, two things. He's bipedal. He's bipedal,
Yeah,
right?
he's bipedal.
And just for my own edification, how many fingers does he have?
He's got 4 fingers on each hand.
Okay, so he's got like 3 fingers and a thumb.
Yeah,
Okay.
I fucked it up.
and there are claws.
Yeah.
At the tips of them.
And also just because he's doing that, subquantum sense. Like, is there active abilities being used?
Not actively.
Okay.
There it goes. Oh.
Yeah, my shield is invisible right now. It's not. You can't see that I have got anything.
Okay. Yeah, I do it.
Cool.
Absolutely, yeah. So you make mental communication with him, and I'll also assume that we'll assume that there's a mental link that happens.
Yeah.
It's well, you'll hear how he talks, and he says, "Be welcome."
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are workers of the bowl.
I probably yes, but I do not understand the reference.
Water conforms to the shape that it is put in.
Yes.
You can change the bowl.
Yes.
Yes. We are workers of the bowl, of the substrata of reality.
And he says, we work the water.
Yes. Yeah.
When we first met, I saw your amazing bubble. That was
Yes.
quite something.
The air I kept.
You saved their lives.
They have kept my life in their claws many times.
How did you come to join them?
They visited the Shaperate, helped with an incident, and we made ourselves vital to one another. And when they left, I left with them.
And you've been with them ever since?
Yes.
They have talked to us about you, and you are all fast friends.
They are a good clutch.
We wanted to talk with you so that we could become friends, too. for we will be together for probably some time.
Yes.
I know it doesn't mean much to say it at this particular moment, as we haven't really been through it together. But I see that time coming relatively soon. So I just wanted to make sure that you know that we have you, while you're on this ship and you're with us, we have you.
You see the currents to come.
Unfortunately, always. I'm what the Confederacy calls a seer.
Oh,
But I might be
very
more,
strange.
I might be more potent than most there, though. Yes, I can see what's coming
And see what was.
and see a lot of what was if we.
That is not anything that the Shaperit or the Nova kind can do.
There's only one other species of folk who have something even close to it, and apparently they're very unusual.
I'll have to give you the reports on them. They're very strange.
Floating geo type beings?
What?
Floating geo.
Radial symmetry. I
Uh,
hate to say this. It's going to be. I apologize. It's a little crude. They look kind of like octopi.
okay, I was going,
Land walking octopi.
I was going to ask if it was more like a psychic sea cucumber. Radial symmetry.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry. That's neither here nor there. We get into oddities.
Jacob also asked us, he thought it would be good for us to hear your story and your people's, the Shaperit story. We could learn much from it because your abilities are unique, for you are not Nova, but you, as you said, change the water.
Yes. I think better to show.
Okay, sure.
And he kind of like indicates for you to like move to the sides of the room,
Okay.
or one side of the room, and says, "I do not intend to cause discomfort."
Understood.
Understood.
And he kind of approaches like some piles of rocks and like this bowl of water, and he says, "Please, the spirit of the ship, inform that there will be fire."
I see. Hey, Akiva, there's going to be a little pyrotechnic display here. We're just letting Rick Rock show us his capabilities.
All right, I'll turn off the suppression system. Please don't let it get out of hand.
Of course not.
I got it. Right? Yeah, I look up and go, I'll handle it. Also, when you're close to him, you feel that cleansing, that noetic cleansing around him. Because we're in the mind link, so I've got to... Oh. He looks at me. What about him?
Well, if you don't ask and don't
No,
think too hard,
you're...
I understand. Don't
Okay.
think about it, and
Okay.
he's not
Oh,
one.
well, we'll focus on this.
So, space is sort of cleared away, and he begins to move his limbs, as well as like the feathers start to rise and ripple. And very much like Avatar, the elements start to move and shape. And he kind of makes a little tableau of very like micro-representational, like many cities or many clusters of buildings.
Right.
And there are little fires and little droplets of water that start to move around, little dust motes and eddies of air start to work. Some of them are small, others are bigger and have like more sort of dramatic effects associated with them. And he's very much sort of like leading you through this. And he then like kind of brings your attention to like the higher places, like where there are towers and whatnot. And there are like he concentrates, and at the top of these There's like incredibly complicated interactions between fire and earth, water, sparks of electricity in a little bit. Like he's obviously like trying to indicate something, that there are levels of complexity and power amongst these. And then he brings from the ceiling multiple balls of fire start to swirl around, and like he shapes like droplets of fire that begin to slam into the cities. Like there are like the tops of the some of the tops of the buildings are just like exploded with a massive blow of like concentrated, like almost near plasma level heat. And you are definitely feeling like as he's doing some of this more complicated stuff, he's pushing a good amount of juice into it, but it's very like contained. So it's not getting out of control, but you feel a good deal of power. And over the course of about 5 minutes, a war between the lights in the sky and the people on the ground plays out. And it's difficult for you to kind of like put the story together, but you, with your kind of like military-minded training, a stalemate is established. There is enough resistance from below to keep the fire in the sky from totally conquering.
Yeah.
And eventually, after like the cities and the towns are mostly devastated, the lights blink out, but then he conjures up like a lot of dust into kind of a cloud that descends over the cities and over the remains, and then as it sort of dissipates out, he starts to move like the representations of people again, and there are none of the dramatic changes. There are just rock people. They're just little rock figures, little blobs of water. And then he concentrates and causes a representation of the sun to start cycling over into like light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, like much time.
The obviously passage of time.
Passage of time. Little, like, he causes some of the things to rebuild. And then slowly you begin to see here and there some of these representations of people, smaller expressions of power, constrained, and then he kind of stops it all, falls, and says, "And then the heralds of the Ascendant came, and we began to know of the wider world." He says, questions?
He would explain that was a stalemate that happened between them.
As a quick, it's like, so was I to understand that you had a situation in which those of you who could shape better than others became too great, or did you suffer from the outside?
They came from outside.
Yes.
Who were they? Do you know their...
The enemy.
The enemy.
The fire from the sky.
Interesting. And they it looks like they did not shape like you did.
No. He says, this, hold on, let me be more specific. He like causes like a larger representation of a city.
Yeah.
And he actually like pulls out like a thing that has like some plant matter. And he like soaks it in some water, and shapes it such that like a giant monster like starts plowing through the city.
Okay.
Oh,
Interesting.
were they all?
This what they used strange magic from the sky, and they sent these.
Interesting. And
Oh,
obviously, this was a long time ago.
Many. He thinks for a moment and comes up to under but close to 1,000,000 years.
Ooh, that was a long time ago.
huh. Well,
Oh,
that immediately.
and you said they were. So I have a question for Scott. Mm-hmm. Has the physical body of what a Doyen looks like been explained to my character?
Yeah, you've seen representations
Okay.
of it. Balls of fire is not too far off.
Yes, that's what I was getting at. I was like, and obviously none were alive when that. So your stories tell you that they were balls of fire like the sun.
Yes.
And you all use, as far as I can tell, you shape the water and the earth. You do not change the shape of the bowl.
No. We shape what is, not what tells what is to be.
I think I may understand more. I would need more information, but I think the enemy is our enemy too. These are beings very old, very powerful, but and they look like fire in the sky, or they can look like fire in the sky.
Jacob said that I should tell you this story.
That's a very good story, and so you had a stalemate with them. Your
Yes.
people did, at great cost.
Great cost, and greater still when they left.
Was that them releasing some sort of plague or fate of some sort of illness upon you?
Something. It was long ago. We just knew. The stories say that those who could shape there were many who could shape, and then there were nearly none. And those who could shape the higher elements, still to this day, we do not have any of them.
The higher elements, you mean combination of elements?
No. He says, we shape the water and the wood and the earth. The higher shapers could shape
Light.
light. Yes, light. The attraction to the earth.
Gravity.
Oh, they were more like psychokinetics.
No.
They shaped higher
Oh.
things.
Yes,
like-
more complex things.
Yes.
Right, okay. Well, yeah, more like some of our more. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There's no cognate. This is
Yeah,
quantum.
there isn't. There literally
There's no
isn't.
quantum.
Other than some of quantum kinetics can sort of
mean-
do that.
That does sound like their MO, though, when they find a very potent race with these types of powers, they'll do something to them, modify them, or alter them forever,
Or kill them.
or kill them in a genocide to make sure that they do not gain the powers that they don't want them to have.
When it's all seems to be now it's another point of evidence that I needed, which I appreciate greatly, of giving me the working hypothesis that they do want anyone having the power over quantum. Anyone who touches that realm, they get very cagey and aggressive with.
The Novas of the Confederation have been very kind to my people.
Your history is an interesting one because, as far as I know, that you have non-novas and novas. You don't have something in between.
No, we have come to understand the notion of the bowl through the Confederation.
Are all of your people active? Can all of your people
No.
shape, or is it a
No,
rare?
only those touched. And those are few. the Novas have been helping. They bring great knowledge of the blood and how the blood makes it more likely to have the shaping.
I see. They were the family ties and the whether your clutch is active or not, more likely to be active.
So
We have something similar.
To move away less from the history, but obviously you didn't have a lot of great because of what happened to you and how you present yourself. I assume new technology has been coming to your people
Yes.
through the Confederation.
Yes. Medicine, food, things that have always been difficult on the Shepherd are much easier. We are benefiting greatly from our alliance with the Confederation.
And I assume, because he looks around the room, that your people live from on a more arid and warm environment.
Yes.
Probably fairly closer to your son, or you only have one?
We were moved from our son. But where the world is now is very similar to where it was.
Oh.
Maybe they should be in charge. I don't know, man. They seem to fix a lot of problems.
There's a definitely mental scowl.
Their high ones expended a great deal of power to bring us within their aegis. Because they did not wish us... They believed that the enemy would find us one day again and wish to bring us under their protection.
That's probably a very smart and insightful thing to do. Now that I have a better idea of what they fear, what they're concerned about, it makes a lot of sense for them to bring you the Shaper into the Confederation.
He kind of like stands from where he's been kind of like kneeling and comes over to you and puts a claw out and says, "They are your enemy?"
Yes.
He like grips and like the claws kind of dig in a little bit, like just like little like kind of like pinpricks of blood, and he says, "We fight them together then."
Always.
Good.
There is, and he'll say, now that we have made this commitment, this promise, there may be a chance to capture one. We need to study them and learn about them. We do not know much. Everything is in stories and chance encounters. They're very cagey. They can teleport. They can do all these very amazing things. And we've never been able to get our hands on one or really talk to one directly.
But we think that this area, because of its, you may not be able to feel the interference, but there is a large amount of interference of the bowl. The bowl's real rocky here.
It's very rigid, actually.
It's very rigid and also fuzzy. But basically the ability is to zip around. I just blink, like, with great effort. The ability to do things like that and, the tricks they use to run just don't work that well here. Like, it's still harder.
So that is, and you will be actually because of your abilities, your direct capabilities, you touch the elements themselves, it will be the most concerned by that. Either it will fear it and try to, and that means we can control where it goes.
I wish to cause it fear.
Oh.
I do too, actually.
Now that we know what they fear, it's a good tool.
And you probably have only recently learned this, he cannot touch on the elements themselves. I can. Through limited use, I can touch those things. It's hard for me to do so, but I can. What they call a Psiad. I have flexibility in my abilities.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was created through a process, and he was born naturally that way.
Ah. Fascinating.
Yeah,
Such things are common of a sort in the Confederation. I understand.
What, of...
Shaping of people.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Modification.
My people are not eager to we do like the food and the medicine. There are things that frighten and confuse us about the Confederation as well.
Oh, I understand. The level of, I will say that's not unusual. Like I'm a pretty stock standard looking human. He says, not really.
We're all beautiful.
But there are parts of our world where people have taken body modification and alteration to levels where they stop looking like themselves in a lot of ways, and that makes a lot of folks uncomfortable.
I am told your world will hate me.
They would be deeply confused by you.
Because every example of things that look like you have been great enemies.
Yeah.
On Earth,
Out of play, aren't the chromatics like lizard-like?
yes, they're more like frogs.
more amphibious.
Yeah. More
Okay, but
amphibious.
to some dumb shit.
Yeah, to some
You're,
dumb shit.
you're just some chromatic to them. Like,
No, let me explain my analogy.
Yeah.
Just as those were great enemies a long ago to your people, the Novas that came from Earth were great enemies to humanity for a good while, fairly recently, and we are still. And most of them all went away, and then when they came back, they looked very different, and you will remind them of that, and they do not know what you are.
Now that said, we do have ways when we get to Earth to hide. We've had to do it ourselves. We went to an alien world not terribly long ago, and had to wear. He brings up the picture of the weird suit. We all had to wear these and let someone else control our bodies while we were in them.
We should
was
not
a
have
lot.
to do anything like that. He'll actually change his uniform and he'll flex and we'll go into the combat.
Also, Nate, that's probably new information for you. So you're like, you did what?
you did what?
That's so weird.
That's
It's
so
like,
weird. That's so. We're gonna talk more about that later.
Oh, it was wet.
Oh,
The whole thing was wet.
We will work. I do wish to help. I wish to help you. I wish to help you. I wish to help Jacob in his task and Annabelle in her task. And I understand that we will have to work through difficult shapes.
But we're very good at keeping our. We're good at getting where we need to get without too much issue. We just, it sometimes just takes a little extra. Smart lying. Let's.
one thing that thought of me is when they see you, because you have the general shape and relative structure of a human. At a glance, some people may see you as a very extreme form of human who's been modified.
We could, like I said, there are folks in certain parts of Earth who have modified themselves to the point where people from where I'm from don't consider them human beings anymore.
There's in
You
Brazil.
are speaking of very stupid hatreds. I was led to believe they would hate me for my shaping.
That too.
Oh, that would terrify them beyond. They would hate you at your face, but they would also be terrified of the shaping.
Actually, that's a good point. If they just saw you, they would be scared of you and concerned. If you used your abilities on top of that, they would think you're one of what you call the wayward.
I think, though, we could get away with a couple of your abilities and just pass it off. Like, if to the untrained eye, he looks like a very, very, very skilled psychokinetic. To the untrained eye.
Yeah, somebody who does not, yes.
If a human being were to see him working, he would think it was a legionnaire.
Y'all felt him using quantum.
Yes, but
any scion or Psiad.
Oh, yeah.
Any scion, anyone with clairsentience will ping him.
Oh, no, I can tell. I'm just saying, like, if we're just around humans.
No, but you got to remember, there are, even though there's not a lot of us, there's a lot more of us than like Novas. So they can be around and you wouldn't know that.
Oh, so using it on Earth, using quantum powers on Earth, sir, in Atmo on Earth would be probably someone would notice.
Someone may notice because you remember that's why all the aberrants on Earth hide in quantum flux zones, so no one can pinpoint exactly where the hell they are.
Because I mean,
You are not shitheads.
yeah, that is fair.
That is true. Thank you.
I would like to meet the others if they are also not shitheads.
Oh, they are so much. They're smarter and better than us in a number of ways. Actually, we're the dumb ones.
curious that they sent you to meet with me.
I'm the nice one.
I was told that I should talk with you because your story would help me a good deal, which it has. It absolutely has. And I thank you for that. What would you like us to bring them into the conversation?
Let us go to where they are.
Ah,
Okay.
Deploy the party cannon.
I just had this idea of why you guys are having this serious conversation. Like she's just in the starlight looping around the ASIYAH, like, woo!
I'm like texting you like, come on, more wrestling. I found another one you'll really like.
Oh, okay, I haven't tried that pin.
Oh yeah, I mean y'all could have been like working out with Annabelle, or making those moves.
Yeah, that's probably
Olivia's
better.
not around. I might watch them work out with Annabelle. No reason.
Olivia does find their way to working out as well. So yeah, we can convene in kind of the gym area where you guys are working out.
Oh, it smells like a hot salad in here.
I've made a little robot that's lifting weights.
He lifts my weights for me.
Just tiny little weight.
Yeah, the two of these and Rick Rock come in. Him and Olivia kind of do some sort of like hand gesture with each other. Some sort of like companionable bumping of leaves and claws.
Aww.
Pop, pop, pop. It's like an entire thing.
They dapping.
No, it's I'm just getting community vibes.
Yep.
And he kind of like looks to the two of you.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh wait, is it
Rick Rock kind of looks to you.
Oh, okay.
Olivia's just chill. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, Rick Rock has chosen to come to join us. I can't really bring everyone into the link right now because I am not that good at telepathy. Oh, that's a new problem.
I thought you could bring in up to your side.
Nope, we got to roll success. It's per success.
Okay. Then
So I rolled once to do this. I would need to. I could get us all in, but I'd probably have to do a boost.
probably just do these us five.
Okay.
5 of us total.
Let's just see how much I can do, and and then I'll spend psi to make everyone else in,
Yep.
and then I'll just commit it.
You can do that.
Rawr.
Because
this is-
role playing is fun.
I did that. We can just say I did that, and I'm not going to use any other side during this
Yep.
scene.
This is so once you guys are like in communication, he says, I am more comfortable with you now. They have represented you well.
Glad to hear.
Good.
Yeah, Rick Rock wanted to meet not shitheads. Yeah,
So we
we
brought
said
them to
you
you.
were
Bring him to us.
Yes.
Aw.
Are you shitheads?
No.
No, I
No,
told
quite
them that
clever.
you're the opposite of shitheads, actually.
And I'll,
Annabelle taught me the word shitheads, and I like it very much.
It
it's a pretty good one.
It's a fun
It's a
word.
very useful one.
A lot of mileage.
Rick Rock's people had potentially a very old encounter with them that deeply affected his people, and has given me some more evidence for some hypotheses that I have about them. And I think we can work really well together because his abilities will make them afraid and concerned because he uses quantum. But he is not a nova.
I see.
But I won't. I don't think we should talk too in depth about them.
No.
While we're all.
Yeah.
In game terms, the Shapers are limited to the quantum power elemental anima. Just because I know people are confused.
Yes.
I want to know about what the clicky math rock version of it.
But what's the dots though?
What
dots does that guy have?
What do?
Can I look at you?
She's a healer.
Oh,
A very, very good healer.
you wish to see my bowl?
Okay, follow this. To him, we shape the bowl.
Oh.
He shapes the water in the bowl.
Oh. Okay.
That is his analogy for the noetic field. We have the structure of the universe is what we change and alter.
But
So
yes,
she
she
wants
was.
to see his face.
She can
Yes.
see your bowl.
You may look.
Thank you. Krilly and I just want to.
Oh yeah, roll it. It's basically your psi
that's
plus
right.
highest mode.
Yep.
It's
I didn't realize I was
highest
become the
Vitakinetic
lizard
mode.
whisperer.
Congratulations.
Now I'm seeing Rick Rock as a little like a little dragon lizard thing.
Go. Oh, I'm in the wrong
It's the
one.
most badass
While she's
kobold.
doing that, I do say over the link, even with Rick back here, I'm like, good news, I can do the Corellian eye for the replicants now.
Oh. Wow.
Interesting.
Look at you.
You
So you're like gonna have to write a paper or some shit on that, right?
Oh, I don't think that's something I would put around back.
I know.
Okay.
I
But
know.
I'm going to write a paper for me.
Yeah.
I've already started on it.
Yeah, so, he's not using any of his abilities, so you don't really have any interference
Right, but I've
now.
never.
But you assume that, because you don't see any, injuries or, signs of sickness,
Right.
you're assuming what you're seeing is a healthy template for a shaper.
Right. This is my very first
Like,
shaper,
that-
thus,
like-
I have to look.
You your abilities aren't saying this is wrong,
No,
But-
but
but you're running into this problem of you might not recognize an illness because the template is so strange and it has quanta flowing through it. But
Yeah, no,
but for what you can tell, this looks healthy. You're aware of where you could be misreading things, but nothing is screaming at you unhealthy or off template.
I want to look to get a better understanding and see if maybe there's anything in the ship, I don't know if they would have any information on shapers.
I mean, you imagine the problem is that you haven't really ever used Corellian Eye on what would be considered a nova.
Right,
Because,
so...
presumably, a nova would look mostly okay with some, quantum fuzziness going on, which you're assuming that's what you're seeing when you look at Rick Rock. Mm-hmm. But because it's an alien template with quantum, there's a lot of uncertainty in what you're seeing. But there's nothing nothing broadcasts to your ability as unhealthy or damaged or anything like
Or corruption.
that. Or corruption.
Okay.
But now you know how many kidneys he has.
No, that's what I want.
It's
I'm
not
like,
the number you'd think.
this
yeah,
is,
you're going,
this
oh,
is
well, I
me,
can-
literally, I'm looking at an MRI and seeing, the body systems and the pumping of things.
But
and,
you also know that there's just a lot of there's a lot of X factors when
oh,
you're
yeah.
looking at him.
No. Understandable, but
you
also
get a
very
basic,
excited.
You get a basic read of him,
Thank you.
He says, yes, I am looking forward to helping you all. If we have a chance to fight the enemy, then I relish it.
There's another question. If we're going to work together, how can we communicate? Obviously, you can understand us when we talk. But how best would you need to communicate with us if you need to tell us something?
With Jacob and Annabelle, we I can vocalize. He
Yeah.
vocalizes and says, over time they have begun to recognize my speech. We could perhaps spend some time.
I think that would help on many different levels, because A, to understand you so we can communicate, but also get to know you better.
We also,
There is also a great deal of trust that has been established with Annabelle and Jacob and myself, and Bush Boy.
there's also the possibility that if we get clever with our biotech maker, we could probably come up with some form of translator. The Chin do it.
Yeah.
Actually, you're not
Good
wrong.
idea.
There can be,
Add that
and
to the list.
there is technology that we may have that is made of living tissue.
I show him, actually, I'll pull back my hair and show him a chin polyp on the back of my neck. and I'll pull out the other one that it's like.
You kind of like squints at that a little bit.
It's a little
The
unusual.
monsters were like that.
This is more like a glove that lets you do things. Like this is it too. I show him my side gauntlet. It's like any kind of, you know.
Yeah, he saw my suit change, and that's
These are all they interface safely with biology up to a certain limit. There's a limit of how much of it you can even like have on yourself at a time, and you get real ill if you have too much of it.
But it can be very useful. We may be able to make something to help
Something
communication faster or easier for
or
us.
something we can understand you.
Or if you're not comfortable with the translation coming from you, we could probably put something on us that would be just learn how to understand you. That
Yeah,
way
we
don't-
could do that.
Probably the easiest way to go.
That's gonna be a little tough for me.
Can you
I'm
not?
at my
Are you
limit
full
right
up?
now.
Oh, you're at your limit of biotech?
I have a lot of biotech.
How much shit are you wearing?
He flexes and the entire suit sort of unveils and you actually see, and then she's just got like pants on. You actually see something you haven't seen. You've noticed this, but you've never actually physically seen it yet. On his back, there looks to be almost like this vine lotus thing wrapped around on his back that sort of unfurls and is like coming together around his chest.
Oh, you got the works.
Yeah.
This is an experimental thing. This modifies by biokinesis.
I
And
was
I've got
curious
another
about it.
one integrated into it is one, it's pumping a certain chemical in my body that lets me morph my body very easily.
Oh, I bet an IAD would work pretty great for you.
No, I'm at my limit on those. I can't use those with this. And then I have
Jeez.
another one that's even more experimental, which is modifies my quantikinesis.
Urge to poke. Right.
Can.
But as you
This is Norsa. This is a Norsa special.
As you guys are like talking, like you can see that like Rick Rock and Olivia are like kind of sharing looks.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
sorry, we're talking in our minds.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought I put.
but like you're showing
Oh, did you
stuff.
put
on.
everyone
I
in?
put everyone in the room. I basically put the knockout for everybody.
Okay,
And
yeah,
anyone who wants in. But yeah, they can share looks all day long. It's fine.
yeah. They're sharing looks, and Olivia kind of like says, "I wonder if I could use like out of his human mouth." Still disturbing. I wonder if I could use your biotech.
Possibly. Biotech's biotech. It shouldn't.
Oh, hey, we haven't really had a chance to talk at all with you about your folk and how y'all got to know the Covenant.
Yeah. We're cool, you know. we don't.
You don't bother folks.
We're more doers than talkers, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, they are. I mean,
You said
Hey
what you said.
guys.
You're,
Something else you notice is he's got like, not biotech, but some other implant in his gut. Like you would know that he's got something. In
yeah,
it.
your native biokinesis is very interesting. We've met alien species before with like native psychic powers.
Cool. We haven't met many. Like, I mean, humans are the first we've met. But then again, you know, we kind of live on our planet, and they found us about 10 years back, and humans are great. We like humans.
Do you all just do all of you just do biokinesis?
I mean, yeah, we change ourselves.
Right. Okay.
So they all have a naturally occurring.
Right. Yeah, it's a naturally occurring.
That's interesting. Well, so you decided to just you met these guys and like
Some of us can heal a little, but that's rare.
heal
So-
other people, you mean?
Ourselves and others too, but that's really rare. Those are like we put those in a high tree and take care of them real good.
I imagine.
I know the feeling. He looks right at Vega.
We always protect the healers.
Except for the healer ones.
We were talking to Rick Rock also. Once we go back into soul space, if you're a biokinetic, that means you could look like one of us if you wanted to.
Oh, that maybe. I could try.
That may be worth practicing.
I'm much more of a take whatever you can throw at me kind of guy. Some of my bros can be a little bit more other looking.
There may be situations where we have to pretend then that you're not
I can train a little bit. I can push myself a little bit.
Even if
maybe.
you're just like have to move. I know there's a biomass problem here, obviously, but you might
be amazed how we can break that.
Well, yeah, but
yeah.
but fair enough. But if you need to just be like a weirdly tall man or something,
I'll work on it.
yeah, sure.
Like if
Pressure.
we're kind of out here in what's that word? The Wild West out here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We don't have to care about this for like.
But if
a
I
month
have
or two.
if I have to look like a mammal, I guess I can look like a mammal.
In certain instances, it may be very useful. Not on the ship, typically, or anything like that. Just
Not all humans. Humans from where we're from have a real different reaction to alien folk. Than
Yeah, humans in Confederation are generally down.
That is what I've gotten. They've had many years of getting used to the idea. Ours are, despite all of what we have on Earth,
Sheltered.
I mean,
our
they,
folks are still
they
sheltered.
do accept the chin, and some of the other ones are starting to be understood. It's just when they're encountered with a unique-looking singular entity like Rick Rock and
The first thought is a
Alluvia,
new species.
yeah, will put them immediately on edge just because
generational trauma.
generational trauma. That's
You
the
can
best
answer
way.
if you want to know what's wrong with the folks of Earth.
All right,
This is
I've kept the question long enough. None of you are Norsa, right?
no.
No.
Oh, why?
Because well, we've heard about the Norsa, and they seem cool.
They are very cool.
Oh, they are cool though. The one guy
They
we
have
met
fruit.
from Norsa,
Oh,
So
they
pretty.
made this.
one of the coolest guys I've ever met, was from Norsa.
Well, if I have a bucket list, party with the Norsa.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah.
should.
Oh, we
Very
can go to
nice.
South America.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we're-
If we're able to get into soul space and the stars align, as it were, I can make that happen.
I mean,
if
we can make it happen just before we get.
If we go to South America, we won't have to do any hiding. That's the nice part.
Yeah.
Just-
We don't even have to
They'll
go to
find us
Earth
with
for
you
that.
there.
I've heard that place is very green.
Oh yes.
Yes.
It's one of the greenest places.
It's one of the only cities in the entire world on Earth that is almost entirely biotech.
Yeah. Oh, Sao Paulo,
Ooh,
Yeah.
Brasilia.
Brasilia.
Oh, it's called
Yeah.
Brasilia now.
Well,
It's
Sao Paulo is still a place, but the purely biotech city is called Brasilia.
Gotcha.
yeah. That's where the most extreme augmented generally are.
Might
That
be
sounds
good
like
place to
a
visit.
party.
Sounds like
Yeah,
sounds like
it
a
is.
good place to hide for us too. If we
Yeah,
ever
we
need to
need
go, if we need to hide on Earth somewhere.
Yes, it's a
We've
very
got
good place to hide.
connections.
We do.
But we want to, and I'm go back to Rick Rock. Like, thank you for allowing us to all to talk and to get to know you and Alluvia, so that we all can kind of work together, because we want to be able to help you, and we definitely going to need your help.
Well, I guess I can speak for Rick Rock here. When we started hanging out with Annabelle and Jacob, we kind of committed to the life, you know. It seems like a good life.
It's
Hunting monsters.
It's always
is a
interesting.
good life.
Well, you know, saving people
Fun
and
months.
making things right.
you
and-
It
don't have
becomes
your
scary.
people don't have like a history of encountering, except recently, of novas or some other large powerful entities.
No, we're just cool, man.
I love.
Absolutely.
You know what? Thank you. Count
It's
yourself
great.
very lucky. I appreciate that.
Yeah, y'all. I'm glad they found you guys and nothing bad happened, because a lot of times we get found and we find stuff and it's all terror, you know. And
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
nice
I guess
to meet people who are cool.
we had never really gone off of our planet before we met with the Confederation, so yeah, I guess I don't know.
What's
Did
your
they-
planet like? Is there much technology there, like there is, like biotech technology, or is it
No, not really technology. We're just sort of more like self-sufficient. Like
I got the impression of that.
there are tools, but mostly we can just
grow it.
Be the tool.
be what we need to be. You know.
That explains how cool.
Is your just as a random science question? Is your environment, your world, very chaotic? Like, it has lots of different climates.
Oh yeah,
And
a lot of biomes.
Okay, that makes much more sense of why you naturally developed that ability.
The adaptability. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Do you have nations? Or is it more-
Yeah, I mean, with a lot of biomes.
Not so much like
Not-
enforced borders. For
Yeah,
nature.
yeah, no. Like, I mean, yeah, okay, I'm using your terms here. There can be some beef between like the people like me and like the tall woody fuckers. Tree, you say tree,
Trees.
tree,
Sure.
yeah,
Tree
yeah,
people.
yeah. There can be beef, but it's really just more, stay in your climate, man.
It's more comfortable for everyone, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, humans
Not
will look
unfamiliar.
for any excuse to tribe up and murder each other. It's one of our favorite things to do.
Well, it's generally like fighting happens, but it's hard to kill.
Yeah, especially if you have the ability to adapt and heal yourself. On like, if all of your people are like that.
Have you
Like violence is very casual.
Also like something like the FSA. Got it.
Well,
But
That
like
sounds familiar.
it's either fight or fuck.
Well,
that's
but it seems like because the stakes are a lot lower because of people's. So yeah,
it can be fun too.
I mean, fighting can
Sometimes
be.
the tussle is a little exciting. Yeah.
Have you guys come up actually in
yeah.
your travels with them? Have you come up against any wayward novas and their ilk?
Yeah. I mean, we've seen some stuff.
Okay, that's good. I didn't want you like this life has that, and
I mean, more since we started hanging out with Jacob and Annabelle. Like, we've seen them do their job.
I'm assuming they've told you about the colony.
Yeah, he seems like a rough motherfucker.
Back in Soul Space, in areas around Soul proper and other systems, him and his ilk are a big problem.
they're the devil. They're the new devil. If you're not counting, what would folks used to call in your world the Ascendant, but they call the Ascendant the devil where we're from in some places. But some places they worship him.
Yeah, I don't really give a guy. I don't really give a shit about that guy. I know he's a big deal. I don't really give a shit about him.
That's fair. Like I'm of no
He's long
particular
gone.
I'm of no particular opinion on him myself. It's just
Yeah,
we have an actual devil to worry about, though, and that's the colony.
We have Cancer
actively
Devil
killing people.
Ooh.
and infecting our mind.
Ooh, cancer? I know cancer.
Yeah, we get he's a living ball of it and gives it to
problem
us.
is it's not just him, but he's got like a small Nova army
Yeah.
running around.
Yeah, he has like people who work for him, and
Ooh.
Novas who work for him, and they're equally messed up and
Gross.
weird. So it sucks. But lots of work to do in that regard, at least. Got a lot of
Awesome.
But regardless, thank you both very much for letting us talk and
Sure, man.
get to know you guys.
Hey, watch this. He goes over to Annabelle and just like kind of tackles her. And they start wrestling.
Oh, dang.
I don't know, who do I want to put my money
Too much
on?
talking. And Annabelle absolutely throws into it. And that's where we're going to end this episode of Trinity Continuum on ASIYAH. Thank you guys for playing. Thank you guys for watching. If you'd like to support the show and the channel, you can go to patreon.com/Simulacra Studios. Become a patron. Get on our Discord. Chat with me. Chat with them. Play with us. There's all sorts of stuff happening. See y'all next week.
Bye.